Are you guys up for another grain to glass video? This is my Amarillo Pale Ale. Comes in at 3.8%. This is still hazy. This is 6 days young now. Has been kegged yesterday, cold crash one day before. So it's done after 4 days, of course, pressurized, fermented. This is a grain to glass video, which means that you're gonna see the brewing of the video, and I did lost some brew for this there, but the brewing of the video, and also dry hopping, and we'll come back and taste the beer, also run through the recipe. The recipe is already up on my Patreon page for the patrons to dig into the big DrHans recipe book. So if you want to check into that, if you want even more content and recipe and support the channel, there's Patreon channel membership. Yeah, let's get started. I'm DrHans, this is DrHans Brewery, my channel about beer and home brewing. If you want to learn with me how to become better at beer and brewing, consider becoming a subscriber and do hit that little bell to get notifications when I put out a new video like this one. And of course, thumbs up the video really helps. I'm thirsty. It's like 32 degrees Celsius here in Sweden. Beautiful looking beer besides me. But before we taste it, let's have a look at the brew day. Another brew day. Okay, so we have 1.250 kilos of pale ale malt, and the same with Munich Type 1. 436 grams, I think, Cara Amber, and also 1 kilo of wheat. Let's get this crushed. I've heated up the strike water to 71C, and we'll be starting at 66C for this brew. My grains are, of course, colder than the water, and that's why I start at a higher temperature, and about 5 degrees Celsius has been working for me. How much over the decided strike temp does you set your temperature till? Yeah, comment down below. Ain't gonna underlit today because I'm in a hurry. So I will start this mash, and then I will come back in 15 minutes, give it a second stir, and then I will just let it sit until I'm ready to do the next step. So it might be an hour, might be even longer. Sparging time. Try to keep about an inch of sparge water over the grain bed, and try to keep the bottom of the grain pipe always under the wort line, so you can monitor here. This is a week after me recording the tasting, and I'm editing the video right now, but as I need to sneak in a message from today's sponsor, I thought I also would show you how the beer looks after more than a week in the keg. It got even better. So, smoking some pork for dinner in the new grill. Nice. BrewGoat has a big order coming from kegging, so if you want to be like one of the first guys who has a or gals who has a Fermented King Junior in their stable, or something else cool coming from kegging, you can go and check out the first link in the description and make a pre-order, so you secure yourself a new fancy toy. And also, of course, you have the new shipment of Spundit coming, so you can pre-order on those also. Also, a big shout out to my patrons and new channel members. Yes, cheers. Ain't bad. Of course, I made a mess. Try to wipe most of it off while it's still haven't dried in. That's not good filming either. Okay, sparging is almost over. I always sparge the full volume, or even more sometimes. So don't be afraid of that. I have an old video called "Is Oversparging Really a Problem?" Something like that. If the doctor remembers, he will put a link down below. If else, just search oversparging DrHans. Sticky. Oh, okay, we're done. This goes to the deers. All the wild boars. Was some time since I saw a moose here, but deers, wild boars, and yeah, birds and shit. I know that some of you don't skim, and I know that I don't have to skim, but this is satisfying to get this off. I don't like the look of it, but would I feel a difference of flavor in the beer if I didn't skim? Nope. I still like to do it. Are you a skimmer? Comment down below. Okay, we're up to a boil, so I'm actually reducing the wattage to 1800 watts. I just wanted to like simmer and not do like this big powerful rolling boil. And if you don't believe that, just try it. The thing that will happen is that, well, nothing really, but you won't have the same boil off, and your beer won't get as dark. You get more like the colors of the beer that the brewing calculators are telling you, if you're not boiling it too hard. I've been boiling for a few minutes, wanted to get down to that max mark. Don't know if you actually can see that, but that's like 28 liters. So we'll start the 60-minute timer. Nothing will go in just yet. We'll add some yeast nutrient and protafloc at 15, and hops will go after flame out. Do like a hop stand at maybe 85 C. I have to calculate that. See if we can get some assistance here from Bixby. Bixby, set a timer for an hour.
Done. Your 1 hour timer has started.
It actually worked. 15 minutes. In goes some yeast nutrient and protafloc. Also, let's add some stuff. Chiller. Let's add the hop spider. And 25 grams of Amarillo. But need to reset the timer because, yeah, I missed it by like 5 minutes. Bixby, set a timer for 15 minutes.
Done.
It works again.
Timer has started.
Time, ouch, hot. Time is up. Let's kill it. And we need to start with water. The water comes from my nearest lake named Maglugnen. And here we have the on switch down deep in the forest, but you can't see shit. Okay, it's on. This is not good content, doctor, you turning on a valve in the forest. Here's my man pit. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna go down to 80 Celsius. We'll monitor the temperature right there. Let's use the hot water for something good. It's not so much waste of water because it's actually just pumped up from the lake. And this is heated up by the cooling process. We're soon down to 80, so maybe we will have to clean the rest of this when we start to cool down again. Set this to 80. And what should we do with the water? We can water the hops. So just put some water on the Hallertau Mittelfru. And that grows up there. But let's add the hops. I'm gonna steep this in 80C for about 30 minutes. 100 grams of Amarillo. And yes, I get my hops from BrewGoat, today's sponsor. Let's smell them. Smells good. Let's do this. 100 grams of Amarillo. Oh, it's hot. Just like me. You don't have to worry about anything now because we're sitting over pasteurizing temperature. Okay, let's start the timer again. Can Bixby do this 3 times in a row? Maybe they fixed Bixby. Bixby, start a timer for 30 minutes.
Done. Your 30 minutes timer has started.
It works. Rehydrating 1 package Nottingham. This is a low ABV beer, so 1 package will have to do. This is 100 milliliters of boiled water and 100 milliliters of the wort. Yes. Okay, let's set that aside. Time is up, 30 minutes. Let's start the cooling. Ended up with 25 liters. So FG is a little bit lower than expected, but nice. More beer, lower ABV, great. Win-win situation. I do have an oxygen stone, so I normally give this a blast of 1 minute, fine bubbles. But what if you don't have an oxygen stone? You could just aerate it with air, but to get even more oxygen in there, you could do this, if you have an oxygen tank, that is. Let's purge the headspace with oxygen. Now there's a lot more oxygen in that headspace. And if we shake it now, a lot more oxygen will go into the beer than if just using air. But why am I doing this? If someone gets an oxygen tank and a regulator, why don't they get an oxygen stone? But just in case. This was a bad idea. It's gonna be beer. Okay, no more shaking. Let's just put some pressure on here and brew day is done. Dry hopping time. Krausen has fallen, so it's time to dry hop. We have still some activity left. First off, let's mark this so we know that this is out. Remove the Spundit. Release the pressure. So this will kick up the yeast and help finish out the fermentation. So it's not a bad thing. You see, it kicked up all the yeast. Okay, so vented this twice already. Let's see if we dare to open it now. We'll add 100 grams of Amarillo, of course, in this beer. Smells awesome. I also need some pressure to get the lid off this thing, because it ain't easy. Yep, that worked. Just be quick about this so we don't have an accident. Hops are in. Okay, so dry hop done. That was the brewing footage. I lost some in the middle there at the end of the brew day. I did, of course, oxygenate the wort with pure oxygen, and I put pressure up by 35 psi and hooked up the Spundit. So this was fermented out very quickly, but it is, of course, I did ferment it quite hot, and it is a low ABV beer. But we're gonna go through all of the recipe. I have it here on the phone, and as I said, the recipe is already up in the DrHans recipe book in the Hoppy Beers Pale Ale section. Yes, cool. So it is hazy, as you would expect, because it's so young. I do get like caramel notes. We have also a lot of bready notes on it, not super screaming from the hops. I did add quite a few hops in this, but we're gonna go through the recipe and check it out. We have like a one finger whitehead. It's mostly died off by now. No massive amount of carbonation in this one. I might put some more on it, actually. Smells really nice. Cheers, let's dive in. You can sense there's a low ABV beer, but it's really nice and refreshing. Not super hoppy. I actually thought it would be more hoppy with those amount of hops. You get the malty breadiness, and also you do get the hops, but it's a lot of Amarillo in it. It's not like cat or anything like that, nor does it like scream of orange either. This will of course clear up in the keg if I don't kick the keg, but it's so warm, so I wanted to record this video as quickly as possible. I just did another video on the Spundit right over there. I'm looking there, so I just turn the camera to this angle. I want to record this because I'm going to kick this keg soon. Because yeah, stay hydrated, stay on the beer, but the low ABV beer. So original gravity 1036. Final gravity 1007, and I think I was like counting for like 1010, but yeah, but it's a low ABV beer. I used 1.25 kilos of Munich malt, so might get the breadiness from there. That's about 31.8%, and 1.25 kilos of pale ale malt. That's also 31.8%. It's always better to just share the percentage, but I'm giving you a kilo here also. 1 kilo of wheat malt, 25.4%, yes. And I did add a lot of caramel malt, and I do get some caramel, and we did ferment this out quite low, so I could even add more, but I added 436 grams of Cara Amber, and for this beer I could have gone way more, so maybe we should try like 15%. The wheat malt, of course, brings a lot of haze to it also. Hops-wise, I used a total of 225 grams of hops. That's not bad. At 50 minutes, I used 25 grams of Amarillo. And I also did a hop stand for 30 minutes at 80 C. The good doctor can translate that into Fahrenheit. Thank you. Dried hop this for 2 days with 100 grams of Amarillo also. This was fermented with Nottingham yeast. I just used 1 package of yeast because this was a low gravity beer, and it worked very well. No off flavors at all. This was fermented at room temperature, which is quite hot, but it was before this like madness heat we have here right now. 30-32 degrees is really hot here in Sweden. It's not like in Australia. when I see your videos in the winter, you're talking about that it's freezing cold, and then you shoot yourself sitting out on your porch in a t-shirt. When we say that it's cold in the winter time here in Sweden, it's cold. I fermented this at, this says 25C, it might have been that, but it was a room temperature, so it fluctuated, of course, a little bit. 35 psi. This was done in under 4 days. I think it took like 2 days to rip this through, and I let it sit on the hops for 2 days. Then I cold crashed it, and we tried it yesterday on the live stream. It has now been sitting in the keg for a day. This came out really, really nice, but I think we could add some more hops to it, really. If I'm doing this again, I would add more hops, and I like it to be a little bit caramel in the pale ales. I think I got that from my visits to London. So I would up the caramel a bit. You can, of course, take down the Munich malt and you add more caramel malt to it. Quite balanced beer. So you could have a little bit more bitterness, but don't go overboard with it. So hope you enjoyed this grain to glass video. If you haven't already, consider becoming a subscriber and to hit that little bell so you notifications when I put out a new video. Of course, smash the like button, and if you didn't like this video at all, feel free to smash the dislike button twice. Yes. Cheers and thanks for watching. DrHans out.